For more than 3 decades, Mobutu Sese Seko stood as one of Africa's most feared, powerful, and controversial leaders. Rising to power through a military coup in 1965, he transformed the former Congo into Zaire and built a regime defined by absolute authority, immense wealth, and a carefully crafted image of strength. To the outside world, Mobutu was the leopard hat-wearing strongman who ruled with an iron fist, commanded loyalty from his inner circle, and lived a life of extraordinary luxury while his nation struggled beneath the weight of corruption and political repression. His rule shaped not only the destiny of Zaire, but also the political history of Africa during the Cold War era. Yet behind the grand speeches, lavish palaces, and tightly controlled public appearances was a private world few ever truly saw. A world hidden from cameras, sealed within the walls of presidential residences, and known only to those closest to him. Among those rare witnesses was AYO KAITANI. For 32 years, she lived within Mobutu's inner circle, experiencing firsthand the realities of life beside one of Africa's most enigmatic rulers. She was not merely an observer of history from a distance. She was present through the triumphs, the tensions, the quiet personal moments, and the eventual collapse of an empire that once seemed untouchable. Her story offers a rare and deeply personal glimpse into the man behind myth. Through her account, we step beyond the public image of power and into a world of secrets, loyalty, fear, and survival. This is more than a story about a leader. It is a story about what it means to live under power, beside power, and ultimately to survive its consequences. AYO KAITANI was a young girl of 15, living in a modest neighborhood of Kinshasa in 1966, when her life was irrevocably altered by a chance encounter with the most powerful man in the country. At the time, Joseph Désiré Mobutu had been in power for only a year following his military coup, and he was in the process of consolidating the authority that would eventually turn him into the Grand Léopard of Zaire. On that day, in 1966, Ayo was sweeping the courtyard of her family home when Mobutu, who was visiting the neighborhood, spotted her. There was no formal interview, no background check, and no application process. In a display of the absolute, patriarchal authority that would define his reign, he simply pointed at the teenager and told her stepmother that when his wife, Marie Antoinette, next visited, she would be taking the girl with her to live at the palace. This recruitment was possible because of a deep-seated, informal network. Ayo's family lived on the same avenue as Marie Antoinette's relatives, and Mobutu's mother-in-law was actually Ayo's godmother. This proximity of trust was more valuable to Mobutu than any professional credential, as he preferred to surround his family with people who were bound to him by traditional ties of debt and community. Upon her arrival at the presidential palace of Montangaliema, Ayo was thrust into the heart of a regime that was actively reinventing itself through the policy of authenticity. Her primary responsibility was the care of the children from Mobutu's first marriage. While the eldest children like Niwa and Manda were often away at elite schools in Europe, Ayo became a surrogate mother figure for the younger ones, including Françoise Ngako and the infant Kongulu, who would later grow up to be the feared Saddam of the DSP. For over 30 years, Ayo inhabited the shadows of the palace, witnessing the transition of the Congo into Zaire and the transformation of a military officer into a godlike monarch. Her perspective was unique because she didn't see the president-founder on a podium. She saw the man who came home every evening and shed his public persona as easily as he shed his accessories. She observed a specific, almost ritualistic habit where Mobutu would enter the living room and immediately place his iconic leopard skin toque on a small stool kept specifically behind the door. This gesture signaled the end of the state actor and the beginning of the private patriarch. Life inside the palace was a strange blend of immense wealth and rigid, almost military discipline. AYO noted that despite the vast resources at his disposal, Mobutu was obsessed with his physical appearance and health. He took good care of his skin, did skincare with frequent massages. He was a man who understood the power of image. He believed that a leader must look strong and invulnerable to remain respected. Consequently, he was highly disciplined about his diet. He preferred traditional Congolese food over the expensive European-style meals he served to foreign dignitaries when they visited. His meals often consisted of pondu, cassava leaves, game meat, and mutton prepared in the traditional Congolese style. He refused to eat imported frozen chicken, viewing it as a symbol of weakness or lack of authenticity. AYO also recalled that he ate very small portions and sometimes ate only once a day, a habit driven by a vanity that feared weight gain. AYO also recounts that in her 3 decades of service, she never for once saw him succumb to a common illness or fever, a fact that reinforced the myth of his near immortality among the household staff. Mobutu was always very strong and agile. However, the domestic environment AYO described was far from a peaceful sanctuary. It was a household marked by tension, surveillance, and a dark undercurrent of domestic violence, especially to his first wife, Marie Antoinette. Despite the public image of the father of the nation, who championed the dignity of the African woman, AYO witnessed the reality of his private temper. She vividly recounted a night when the palace was filled with the sounds of a violent domestic dispute. Mobutu, driven by a possessive and explosive jealousy, had allegedly physically assaulted his wife, Marie Antoinette. The following morning, after the president had left for work, AYO entered the First Lady's bedroom to find her face badly swollen and bruised. In a world where the best doctors were a phone call away, the reality of the palace was often more traditional and secretive. AYO had to prepare a homemade poultice of crushed leaves and palm oil to soothe the First Lady's injuries, a silent witness to the hidden scars of the regime. Beyond the physical violence, AYO's experience included the mystical atmosphere that permeated the Zairian presidency. One day, while performing the mundane task of making the president's bed, she discovered a strange object hidden beneath his pillow that resembled a small, ornate mirror or a fetish, what Africans typically call juju. When she alerted Marie Antoinette, the First Lady simply moved the object without a word of explanation, reflecting the silent understanding within the household that Mobutu's power was guarded by more than just soldiers. AYO also noted a stark absence of conventional religious practice within the inner sanctum. While Mobutu often clashed with the Catholic Church publicly, he did not replace it with private deity. AYO observed that the family rarely prayed together, rarely ate together, and almost never attended church services on Sundays, remaining instead within the guarded confines of the palace. She also recounts that Mobutu was a chronic womanizer and extremely possessive, and that there was this flare of mystery that surrounded him. She even recounts that Mobutu kept the corpse of the former president of Rwanda in his house for 3 years, something she thought was very strange. As the years progressed, AYO watched the children she raised grow into the heirs of a crumbling empire. She stayed through the transition after Marie Antoinette's death and the arrival of Bobby Ladawa, remaining a fixture in the household until the very end in 1997. Her life, for 32 years, was defined by a total immersion in the Mobutu family's trajectory, from the heights of the Zairian miracle to the paranoid, isolated final days in Gbadolite. She was not a political advisor or a general, but as the woman who folded the leopard print shirts and treated the First Lady's wounds, she held a version of history that the official archives could never capture. A history of a man who ruled millions, but was ultimately a prisoner of his own vanity, jealousy, and the very image he spent a lifetime creating. When the regime finally fell, AYO KAITANI emerged not as a figure of the state, but as a silent repository of the secrets of Montegalliema, a witness to the human frailty that existed behind the most formidable mask in African political history. Following the collapse of the Mobutu regime in 1997, AYO KAITANI moved into a period of quiet, undocumented life after serving the presidential household for 32 years. She had remained a fixture through the reign of two First Ladies, Marie Antoinette and Bobby Ladawa, but ultimately retreated from the center of power as the family fled into exile to countries like Togo, Morocco, and Belgium. While her immediate activities after the transition remained largely private, she eventually emerged from decades of silence to share her experiences. Today, AYO KAITANI is 65 years old. In early 2026, she gained public attention by providing extensive first-hand testimony about her life at the Montegalliema Palace. Her accounts offer a rare, behind-the-scenes perspective on Mobutu's private life, habits, and domestic environment that was never recorded in official state archives. By choosing to speak out now, she has become a significant living witness for the Congolese diaspora and historians seeking to understand the human reality behind the Zairian regime. She continues to represent a unique bridge between the public myth of the Grand Leopard and the private history of the family she helped raise.